Hello, everyone. It is a beautiful, I believe, lazy Sunday. I'm not sure if it's Monday or Sunday. Oh, yes. I, my trigger thumb, which is actually not uncommon in women my age. Uh, especially when I am left-handed. So, yes, I use my I use my hands a lot, both of them, uh, and have. But it kept getting worse, and the pain got worse again. And I thought, man, is this gonna be for the rest of my life now? I have to deal with this. Um, so I went and looked it up. Yeah. Why not just go to the doctor? Okay, some people might like sitting in waiting rooms for hours and hours, and they do this several times a month, and I don't know what, and I'm just not that patient when it comes to things like that. So I always try first. Okay, first, if things don't work out, then I'll just end up, okay, dealing with whatever, get used to it, and that is that. Yeah, it has a little bit to do with my experiences with doctors, I guess. But uh, then there is the questionable thing about my insurance. Just saying. Hey, you know what? I want to live on the edge. Live like me. Where I'm not sure. Retired at 52. Yep, said I'm done with working. I'll figure something else out. Did. Uh, always. I live a great life with very little, but and somehow I feel like Spirit World and Heavenly Parent always guides my path in a direction where I help out others, and then that helps me out. Yes? Okay, there you go. Anyway, yeah, you want to live on the edge, right? Yeah, not sure if you got insurance or not. I guess I could check it out. Just too lazy to hang on the phone as well. And I feel like I had already done what I needed to do, which also was kind of a pain. So, haven't heard back in a long time, so I don't really know if my insurance card's working or not or what's going on. So, be it, right? Yes, if I last another 5 years, then I'll be a senior and hopefully I will get the Medicaid kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure it's going to be minimal, but I'm just saying there will be a little something I can depend on. I'm just saying. So far, so good. Again, yeah. I just found there's a plant growing outside. Oh, back to my trigger thumb first, which the plant comes in as well. So I went and looked it up, and I've been using it, yeah, and it would lock up, and then I could most of the time I could unlock it by just straightening my thumb, and then suddenly it kept staying locked, and it was very painful, and I'd have to go bloop, and unlock it again. I go so I tried to not lock it, right? Yes, but you do the work, this and that. Anyway, so it said that in order for it to get better, you have to have it needs to rest. Oh, it's perfect right now, right? Yes, because I'm home alone. And I thought, oh, which also means though that there's many things that I wanted to do here I'm not going to do. Oh, well, there you go. My busy mind, who's already had all these projects in line, this and that, right? Now I had to retrack and go, well, scratch all that. That's more important because I need that thumb, right? For many, many, many or more years, and everything else out there can wait. Yes? Yeah, okay. No problem. So I splinted it. Splinted it with, I thought, how do I splint it with? Yeah, I don't really want to use a stick. That's going to kind of hurt. I'm using a nail file. Yes, one of those little nail files. Yes, and some tape. Yep, yeah. Look at that. Works perfect. See, I can't. Yep, I can do this, but I can't bend it, which is exactly what they're saying. It's got to stay so that the inflammation can go down. That's where that plant comes in. It's been growing with my perilla. It has almost the same leaves, but when it started to bloom, I'm going, that's not perilla. What is that? And anyway, so I I have this app. Picture this. It's great. You don't have to pay for anything on it. Yes, yeah, I'm good at finding stuff like that. But you can only like take 3 pictures a week or 3 a month, or that's all I need because I know most of the plants. But I come across one every once in a while. I don't know. I didn't know this one. I didn't remember seeing this one ever. So I went checked it out, took a picture, and it's white. Oh, and W's and V's are really hard for me to say to hear the difference. Yes, so my children still. Yes, Mom, we're gonna go and vacuum. Okay, I'm just saying. Uh, it's called. Oh, then my brother-in-law says, put an O in front of it for the V. Yes, for the W. Yeah. Okay. A white. It's O white. A white. Vervain. Yes. They're both of them in it. And it's great for inflammation, all kinds of other things, but that's one. So I have one plant. I'm going to dry it and then make tea. Uh, dried, I guess I could do it fresh. I don't see why I can't use it fresh. They say dried. I guess that's how most people would get it, is dried, right? Yes. And so I'm going to make a tea out of it. Yes, and looks like about 3 or 4 cups of tea that I can make with it and see if it'll help. Yes, okay. Well, there you go. So that's why this is sticking out here in the video. The video. Okay, all right. Let's get going here. Enough talk. I'm enjoying my time. All the animals are fine, which is great. Yes, everybody's been fed this morning, took care of. I had my coffee. Here's the last of it. Mm. Mm. All right. So let's get going in the book of Ecclesiasticus 23. Vigilance. Who will set a guard on my mouth and an efficient seal on my lips to keep me from falling and my tongue from causing my ruin? Well, I'll tell you what. Without reading the rest first, I'll tell you how you can do that. Is make sure that you always keep the bigger picture in mind and don't keep your world of thinking just right here, right? Yes? Then where all you see and hear, right? Yeah, is coming from someone right just in front of you, and they might not be always right, yeah, or who knows what their intentions are. Okay, I'm just saying. So that's who I am. And when I see something, I'll go, oh, really? Is that true? Let's go find out. Let's dig a little deeper. And often I find that the frontal face that I get from a story or whatever isn't necessarily true. Or I find that, oh, there's some malicious people behind this when it comes to gossip and rumors and I don't know what. Okay. So you can guard. We have a heart to mind. Yes, we can guard against suddenly becoming a part of a mob or the masses who where there's often a very small group behind them that are feeding everything to you that you then want to have, or you saying out there. Yes, you can beware of that if you use your heart to mind and don't do that. Okay? Yeah, okay. So there you go. So we don't have to really, ask the question, but there's a simple answer to that. Lord, Father and Master of my life, do not abandon me to their whims. Do not let me fall because of them. Okay. Who will lay whips to my thoughts and a discipline of wisdom to my heart, to be merciless to my errors and not let my sins go unchecked? Well, it kind of goes right along with what I said. For fear my errors should multiply and my sins then abound, and I fall before my adversaries, and my enemy gloat over me. Lord, Father, and God of my life, do not let my eyes be proud. Turn envy away from me. Do not let lechery and lust grip me. Do not leave me a prey to shameless desire. All right? That's good advice to men. The other thing too that I find is that it seems a lot of people are just divided all over the world. Every country, even in family. Let's just start within the family. Oh, let's start within myself. Sometimes I feel divided, right? Yes. Try not to let that ever get to that point where I'm going, well, why can't I? Why can't I take someone like that out? Why can't I? Do they deserve to live? And of course, my much greater side goes, well, because that's not the way to go. That is not God's will and ideal for a human being to think that way. Okay, yes. Uh, that was just an example. And what I've found is that when you're on the side of goodness and you win a victory over whatever, over something, and there is a losing side, one should never gloat over that. And if one is on the side of goodness, one doesn't. If you believe in our heavenly parent, God, money too, the creator, Allah, Buddha, whatever, you don't ever gloat over someone losing. Regardless, you never do that. Or you're not on the side of goodness, I'm assuming. Anyway, swearing. Children, listen to what I teach. No one who keeps it will be cut out. The sinner is ensnared by his own lips. Both the abusive and the proud are tripped by them. Do not get into the habit of swearing. Do not make a habit of naming the Holy One. For just as a slave who is constantly overseen will never be without bruises, so someone who is always swearing and uttering the name will not be exempt from sin. A man forever swearing is full of iniquity, and the scourge will not depart from his house. If he offends, his sin will be on him. If he did it unheedingly, he has doubly sinned. If he swears a false oath, he will not be treated as innocent, for his house will be filled with calamities. I've talked about cussing and cursing, swearing, many times before. Uh, for myself, somebody um, a while back mentioned a series, and so I think you would really like that. It's about time jumping, this and that, and I'm going, oh, I am kind of interested in futuristic kind of stuff. And I started watching it, and I made it to the second episode, and I turned it off. I couldn't listen anymore because the cussing and cursing, I just can't stand it. It's yeah, what's the big deal? Everybody does it, okay? I mean, and it turns me off so bad to watch anything, even if I'm really interested in it. I lose I lose interest. It could be one of the best movies out there that people say, and to me it looks filthy and dirty, and I don't want to watch it. I don't want to hear it. And there's probably a reason for that. It's difficult for me to have a conversation with someone that uses cuss words, even if they're just part of the conversation, because I can't concentrate on the rest on what they're saying. It's the filth that accompanies their story is so overpowering. And I usually wait for a while. I won't just interrupt, but then I'll have to. I said I can't follow you if you do that. So can you speak without that? Can you continue? And you know what? Often they go, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay." And they really check themselves, right? Yes. Oh, to please me. No one ever asks. So what's the problem? Why are you asking? Then I can tell them, yes, I have a story with that. But anyway, short, just quick reminder: cussing and cursing. If we're listening to it, if we're speaking it ourselves, Uh, it hurts the weakest ones in our society. The foul energy that cussing and cursing creates attacks our children. You don't believe that? Okay, take your chances then with that. But I told you now, okay? Yes? Okay. Free will. You get to do what you want. But guess what? With free will, also there come the responsibilities and consequences. Okay, next. Oh, here we go. Okay, swearing. Now, foul language. Goes into the same. One way of talking is like death. Let it not be found in the heritage of Jacob, since devout people have nothing to do with that. They will not wallow in sin. Do not get into the habit of using coarse and foul language, since this involves sinful words. Remember your father and mother when you are sitting with the great, for fear you forget yourself in their presence, and behave like a fool, and then wish you had not been born, and curse the day of your birth. No one in the habit of using shameful language will break himself of it as long as he lives. Maybe if one knows what. Okay. I've been trying for so long, yes, yeah, to teach people that. And, uh, you know, we think that it's just people out there, people don't believe, this or that, who cuss and curse. It's not true. People who I know are very devout to God, true parents, Jesus, or their other religions, they cuss and curse like they have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and probably dream of it at night. I'm not sure. I don't know, but it kind of seems to me like that. So what if you stand in front of Jesus, hmm? or any of the other deities that are out there? Are you going to talk like that? I'm just wondering. Or then suddenly one cleans up their language because one wants to what? Look good? Well, why don't you want to look good all the time? Why don't you want to talk nicely and pleasantly, right? All the time? There's many other different ways that one can express one's discontent, frustration, I don't know what, without using cuss words and swear words. Yes? True? Also, think of what some of these words actually mean. Anyway, how did they even make it into our vocabulary? Really? What's that all about? Just saying. Lechery. There are two types of, well, tell you what, 23 goes right into all of that. There are two types of people who commit sin after sin, and a third who attracts retribution. Desire, blazing like a furnace, will not die down until it has been sated. The man who lusts after members of his own family is not going to stop until he's quite burnt out. Every food is sweet to the promiscuous, and he will not desist until he dies. And the man who sins against the marriage bed and says to himself, "Who can see me? There is a darkness all around me, the walls hide me. No one can see me, why should I worry? The Most High will not remember my sins." What he fears are human eyes. He does not realize that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, observing every aspect of human behavior, seeing into the most secret corners. All things were known to him before they were created, and are still, now that they are finished. This man will be punished in view of the whole town, and will be seized when he least expects it. I saw a post, and it was, again, it's like, stop making excuses. And it has actually very little to do with what I just read, but somehow that just came to my mind anyway. There's some soldiers standing there at attention, and the overhead is some out of having you know, moral reasons uh, to not go to the military, to be in the army. Uh, but the ones that are in the army, they're okay with the ones not having these morals in the army who are protecting them. And I looked at that and I was like, yeah, I mean, it's at first glance, it's like, yeah, that's a bit of a reproof. But then something came to my mind that my sister a long time told me, a long, long time. I was a child when we were both children, more or less children, when that came up. And she says, "Hey sis, I thought of something." And I said, "Yeah." And she says, "What if there were a war and nobody would show up?" I said, "Oh, then there wouldn't be a war. What if everyone out there would have moral reasons? Thou shalt not kill, for example, or view your neighbor's land." Okay, just saying. How about everybody were to feel that way? And she said, "Well, I'm not going to go and kill no one." Done. How about everyone? Then this post would what? Not attack the ones that say, "But I don't want to do that." And then there wouldn't be the ones needed to break those morals to protect the ones who have them. Make sense? But have no doubt it will be a continuous question and dilemma for people. Well, if you're being attacked by a bad person, why can't you defend yourself? And if you're stronger, take that person's life. Why can't one do that? Why is it supposed to be better to give one's life than take one? Guess hopefully eventually we'll know exactly why. Yeah. The adulteress. Similarly, the woman unfaithful to her husband who provides him with an heir by another man. First, she has disobeyed the law of the Most High. Secondly, she has been false to her husband. And thirdly, she has gone whoring in adultery and conceived children by another man. She will be led before the assembly, and inquiry will be held about her children. Okay. It's really hard for me to believe with the strict uh, rules and laws that they had when it came to men and women then that it would that any woman would have taken actually the even if would have taken uh, freely, I mean voluntarily taken that chance, right? Yes, I can't quite see that at that time. Now it's a bit different. So so why is this in here? And I guess I don't know. Will it come up that we all know that in some places in the world, when a woman gets raped, she will get stoned to death or she will get killed by her own family. And what happens to the guy? Does he become a eunuch? Oh, there'd be a lot of eunuchs running around in that country then, wouldn't there? Well, I'm just saying. So, what if at that time, again, I could just see, what does he talk about before? Lecherous men. Did they always ask? Okay. If they're in their own family, you can't tell me any woman in your own household is going to willingly lay down for one of the men in your household. So what's that? Okay. It's rape. What are the women supposed to do? At that time, I could see many, many women getting raped and then get pregnant. And then what? They're the adulterers? Just saying. Oh, there we go again. Just like with the other story I just told, with the army, the wars. Yes? Well, so what's the right thing to do? How does one know? If men didn't want it, it wouldn't exist. Just saying. Her children will strike no root. Her branches will bear no fruit. She will leave an accursed memory behind her. Her shame will never be wiped out. And what do the children have to do with that? Also, you know what? Doggone bullies. And those who survive her will recognize that nothing is better than fearing the Lord, and nothing sweeter than adherence to the Lord's commandments. Oh, well, dear Lord, yeah. Why didn't you guys all follow that? The world might just look a bit better today. Okay, just saying. Dude, you know what? High and mighty. Yeah. So often I've come across now here of men leaving their whatever behind, words, okay? And I find that they sound so high and mighty about everything. Yes? I mean, if this is all really given by God, you know, I find it interesting, and we'll get to that in the New Testament. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but I don't see any end here yet with the Old Testament. I'm amazed on how Jesus managed within 3 years to give so much of spirit world, of our Heavenly Father, all this and that, and His love for mankind. How much He gave in those 3 years, and how that blossomed among the people. Really, when it comes down to it, how is that possible? It's amazing to me. And on how so many things, yes, it took a long time too, but so many things started to go better, started to right themselves. There are still slaves today in this world, but there used to be a common consensus that being a slave was good and right to many, except the slaves, of course. Just saying, bringing just that one thing up. There's many other things that, due to Christianity, due to the words, the giving, the guidance of our brother Jesus, many things in the world are better. They're not fixed, they're not restored yet all the way, but they're better. They got better. Yes? But we have all this in here too. Obviously, this was already going on then. All this stuff that we just read about. Swearing, foul language, lechery, the adulteress. Right? Yes? All this stuff was already going on then. Okay, however he wanted to write this down. If they already knew not to do any of that, it's in the Bible here, how come that hasn't really transferred anywhere else at that time? Why is it that the Israelites continuously just were stuck in wars against others? Then the infighting started as well with their king stuff. Just saying, is that following? Being guided by God's words and commandments? I don't think so. Yes? So, I can puff some words out too. That sounds really good. But if there isn't a foundation for the people to receive it, then I guess it's not going to work. Yes? All right. Well, anyway, I'm sure not everybody was needed all this to hear this, but What am I saying? There it is. Okay. And that is that. To do or not to do is the question, isn't it? Yes? So again, too, what I find here is with Ecclesiasticus, again, is the hypocrisy. Yes? Uh, and are we getting the whole story? At that time, how many women actually voluntarily, out of their lust and desire, became adulteresses? How many? A handful? And that has to be mentioned in the Bible. Yes, a handful. A passage like that last one with the adulteress, what that shows me is I don't feel talked to. I don't feel, again, okay, maybe a little more to this story here. But what I do hear is the guilt of men. That's what I hear out of this. Yes, and they have to blame someone else. Put the burden at someone else's feet. And you know what? As women, all through history, we've taken on a lot of the burdens of the men. It's time for you guys to start carrying all that stuff yourself. How about that? Okay. All right. Good. Not against you guys. Yes, I have wonderful son-in-laws. Yes, I have a wonderful son. My husband's getting there. Met many, many amazing brothers out there. Yes, and very proud of them. But there's too few of them. Okay, there it is. Thank you for listening. May Heavenly Parent bless and protection, guide you, and embrace you with love. I gotta hurry up. Eldritch, my brother in faith, I love you. Let's keep praying. Yes, if all else fails, just have the strength to keep going. Gotcha. And I will talk to y'all another time.